Hey everyone. I hope you're all doing well. It's been a weird couple of weeks for me. But, whatever. That's in the past. Right now we're dealing with our wonderful haunted house game. And let's just get into it. I've had a few issues with it the past couple of weeks, which is one of the many reasons why I didn't upload, but other stuff's going on. Anyway, we started off by trying to get our timer working, and I just think this is something I'm gonna scrap because I could not figure out how to get this thing to work. What I was going for was a countdown timer that when you hit when it starts, it counts down obviously, and then once it hits zero, that's when the game would end and it would reset, so you'd have to start all over again. Uh, it did not go the way that I thought it was gonna go. I'm pretty confident it was my fault, but yeah, it just was not working at all. You'll see in just a second. You'd get like 1 or 2 seconds of gameplay and then it would just restart like this. So I think that's just gonna end up going by the wayside. If I can figure it out later, I'll try to get it to work, but for right now, it's just gotta go. The next thing I did was kind of make like a. It's going to eventually be a tree from the way I have it all set up here. It's just this massive tree that goes from that invisible bridge all the way down to the ground right before the exit. This is to kind of give people a way to go back up and get the treasure that's at the end of the invisible road. And also, it just kind of makes it so that you're not just free falling for what seems like 20 seconds on your way down to the ground. I haven't filled this in with textures yet. This might be the tree that I... Actually, yeah, this is going to be the tree that I make look all weird. So it'll look a little bit more like a Breakout game or something like that, if you remember all the little tiles and everything from Breakout. I'll color it like that so it kind of looks a little weird and looks a little bit out of place. I think it'll make it look kind of cool, to be honest with you. At least I'll try it out like that. We'll see how it goes, and if I want to go back to kind of this a little bit creepier vibe, then I will. But we'll make it look all kinds of Atari and whatnot, and we'll just see where it goes from there. But that'll be for a different time. Right now, it's pretty plain, but what it is you have the trunk in the background, and then you've got these branches that are kind of in the foreground. That was a little fun to play around with. I messed it up a few times. What I did was I copied the wrong block, and so for whatever reason, it was just doing weird stuff. And I have absolutely no idea why that ghost got caught in the background like that. I really don't know what happened with that. It's very strange. I didn't even figure out why it was doing it, but whatever. So that tree was basically the second thing that I did. There were some other things, but that was kind of like the second major thing I did after messing around with the timer and trying to get that to work. The other thing I did, and kind of the last big thing, was try to get like some of the animation going. So I looked up on how to do this, and I'm pretty confident I can pull it off. Right now it's not working exactly, but most of this is operator error. So what I'm trying to do is create, I think, 4 frames of animation. I want to have the sprite that's eventually going to be our character standing. I want to have him running, and then I want to have him jumping and then falling down. So like the jumping up and then falling down, that sort of animation. Uh, I kind of know how to do it, but I'm doing something wrong, obviously, because the way I have it set up just is not. It didn't quite work the way I wanted it to. The way it's supposed to go is you have these different textures. Those are like your animation cells or your frames of animation. And then you've got the not nodens there. So when you press the button, it's going to do an animation. And when the buttons are not pressed, it's going to do a different animation or go to like a different frame in the animation. So if you're standing still and you're not pressing any buttons, you're going to be seeing the standing animation. If you press the button to jump, you see the jump animation, so on and so forth. You guys get the idea. What I had originally thought of doing was just 3 frames instead of doing 4. I might go back to just 3, kind of depending on how this goes. If it gets to the point where I'm like, okay, this is just way too confusing for me, it's getting too complicated, I need to just cut back and do something a little bit more simple, I'll just go back to 3 and we can deal with that. It would just be kind of weird to work the logic out a little bit, especially because it all basically relies on you pressing and holding the button, so you would lose the animation as soon as you let the button go, or kind of vice versa, that sort of thing. So this is kind of what happened when I first set this up. I think my problem was I had the wrong thing set up. You can see here like the jump animation with the nice little J on there. It's there when you're moving and just standing still, and it's not supposed to be. It's supposed to be there when you were jumping. He would turn into like the J. I'll figure out what I'm doing wrong. I'm pretty sure it was my fault. Just not really doing it all correctly, which, fair enough. That's usually what happens when stuff like this goes on. Can't really blame the game because I'm the idiot that's doing the programming here. But anyway, that was kind of the first attempt that I made at it, and it did not work out the way it was supposed to. I'm probably missing something in this whole little loop, but I'll eventually get there. So yeah, right now it's just the random guy running through the thing. All the textures for the different platforms and everything are the same. I'm gonna go ahead and Atari up the tree, basically, just to make that kind of stand out and be a little bit different. Because it is supposed to be an Easter egg to begin with, so maybe having this weird tree, or not even really a tree, just like this weird set of a different Atari game in here would probably look pretty good. The other thing I need to do is just settle on what I want the character sprite to really look like. I've been going back and forth between 2 different games. Both of them are Atari games, because that's just sort of the theme I'm going for with this. The 2 games I've been working with, they're Pitfall and then Frankenstein's Monster. Mostly because they've got a pretty defined sprite. At least with Pitfall, you can kind of see you have a little Pitfall Harry there. It's a little bit harder to see the one with Frankenstein's Monster just because all of the sprites are tiny, and unfortunately I have to have this thing kind of small. But anyway, we'll get back to it, and everything will work out, I think. Anyway, thank you for watching. If you guys have any comments or suggestions, just let me know in the comments below, and have a great day, everybody.